TikTakers, we know that many of you miss the creepypasta world. So in addition to giving you a video from time to time, we have decided to collect our best male happy pastas. Not everything was gonna be death and destruction. We also have good friends who help people. They are Splendor Man, Jeff the Jugger, Joker Jack, and Carnival. Enjoy their stories. It was an early summer afternoon. Becky and Tiffany were having a picnic in a dense park. They were celebrating the end of school. They had passed all their subjects and they were very happy. The sun was shining and there wasn't any cloud in the sky. The girls were laughing and enjoying a delicious meal they had prepared. In just seconds, the sky went dark. Gray clouds rapidly covered it all and it started to rain heavily. The girls started getting their things together. The little party was over. They saw lightning in the distance and then heard a strong thunder. A storm was coming. They were quite far from home, so they got a bit scared. They noticed a weird sound in their heads. They had the feeling the forest was becoming deeper and deeper. The sound got more intense. A shadow appeared among the trees. Behind the girls, it was extremely long. It quietly got close to them. The sound kept growing stronger in their minds. They were scared. It was closer and closer. It was a Splendor Man, or Splendid to its friends. Suddenly, it stopped raining. The sky cleared up and happiness reigned between the girls again. They set the picnic up again, ready to enjoy life and the peaceful snack in the park. They laughed and laughed. Becky and Tiffany had been victims of a Splendor Man, who had rewarded them with a dose of happiness. Today, we're gonna leave creepypasta aside and talk to you about happy pasta, which is kind of the opposite. They are stories thought to cheer readers up and make them happy. Any creepy worthy of its name has its happy counterpart. And in Slenderman's case, we can find Splendorman, his charming older brother. We all know Slenderman is a terrible monster with human shape, more than 2 meters tall with pale skin and without facial features. He wears a dark suit and a tie. His hands look like those of a human, but his fingers are longer and bonier. He also has tentacles, which he can stretch as much as he desires. Splendorman's anatomy is similar. He is also disproportionately tall, a bit taller than his brother. He is thin with pallid skin, but he does have a face, 2 big black eyes and a great smile. Even though his suit is also black, it is decorated with fun color polka dots and a beautiful red bow tie, and he always wears a nice top hat. Splendorman's tentacles have bells on their ends that cheer anyone up, and sometimes he also carries a gold cane. People say the 2 brothers don't get along well. This is, of course, due to the fact that Splendorman and Slenderman are basically opposites. We could say one is light, while the other one is darkness. Splendorman is a creature that appears to those who have been especially kind to others and enjoy life. He loves entertaining people and making them smile. He encourages people to be good and he gives them flowers and balloons. He likes dancing to keep them entertained, and if things go well, he can even sing. He loves seeing smiles around him. His main ability is being able to improve people's mood. He can also interrupt technology, teleport himself, and throw glitter. Is there any superpower cooler than that? Just like Slenderman, Splendorman can't be seen at first sight if he doesn't want to be seen. But not only that, he can also let some see them and not others. The origins of this character are on YouTube. Splendorman was born as a parody and is a creation by Neil Cicierega, a US comedian, movie director, and musician. Despite its being a happy pasta, there are rumors that say Splendorman has a dark side. Even though he tends to be kind, when he gets mad he acquires a more frightening appearance, but this hardly happens. Without a doubt, Slenderman's legend is one of the most horrific and famous ones on the internet. But Splendorman doesn't lag far behind, and he's becoming more and more popular. Remember, you have to be a kind and nice person for Splendorman to appear to you. However, be careful, TikTakers. If you go deep into the woods and a tall and sinister figure appears, don't trust it until you can distinguish its appearance, because under that shadow a dark and terrifying being could be hiding. It was a cold autumn night. Jeff the Killer was lurking around the neighborhood, dressed in a black hoodie he had put on to go unnoticed. He was determined to kill again. He could no longer contain the thrill of adrenaline coursing through his body, and that was a perfect occasion for another killing. After crossing the street, a memory came back to him and he turned right towards the park. He remembered the countless afternoons there when he was just a child, when he still had a human heart. However, that was very much buried in the past. Now his thoughts were only of the cold blade of the knife he was hiding under his sweatshirt. When he arrived at the park, he sat down on a bench. This time he would take it easy. He would enjoy the process of selecting his next victim and then corner him and savor his fear as he took his life. He saw several groups of teenagers and parents walking by with their children. Very appetizing, no doubt. But it was a young man running in the park who caught his attention when he stopped to take a breath. He would be his next target. Jeff took a look around. No one was there. He pulled a knife out from under his clothes, hiding it behind his back. He crept closer until he could hear him breathing heavily. He took his last steps and, grabbing the weapon tightly, lunged at him. He knocked him down with the first blow. He lifted the knife high and savored the look of terror on his face. Jeff's smile widened into an unpleasant grimace. He couldn't wait any longer. But just as he was about to kill him, something stopped him. A radiant song began to play in his ears, dazing him. The atmosphere suddenly became warm and glowing as a brilliant figure emerged from the bushes. It was Jeff the Hacker. He stood there, bewildered, motionless, a moment his victim took advantage of to flee. Jeff turned to the strange boy, who looked at him smiling and with his arms open. At that moment, he recognized him and noticed how his cheeks were colored with anger. It only took him a second to get up, ready to ram him, cut him up, and leave no trace of him. Boo! Were you expecting a normal Scary Tuesday, TikTakers? Well, today we have been invaded by the spirit of love, and we have brought you the story of the happy pasta, Jeff the Hacker. As you know from our Splendorman video, happy pastas are the opposite of creepies. Stories written to make the reader happy. Jeff the Hacker is the opposite character to Jeff the Killer, who is actually his cousin. He usually wears jeans and an orange hoodie. His eyes are the color of a rainbow. He has flushed cheeks and always shows a kind expression on his face. But apart from his appearance, we don't know much about him. They say he's a very kind and loving boy, and he likes to sing songs to cheer up frightened children. He also loves being surrounded by people and making new friends. And he's famous for his generosity. He donates money to charity whenever he can. He hates violence and fights until the end for his ideals. His cousin stabbed him with a sharp knife when he met him. Jeff was left dying, bleeding in the park. But before he died, he asked Splendorman and Frone Cat for help. Thanks to the power of love, he managed to survive. Despite what Jeff the Killer did to him, he was able to forgive him, and sometime later, he bought him a new knife. But to peel fruits and vegetables, since his other weapons were rusted by blood. Sometimes he manages to stop him from killing more people, although he doesn't always get there in time. His weapon is his powerful and warm hugs, which he gives to everyone he meets so that they're happy. Although some say that his smiling character and rainbow eyes are due to the medication he takes. Otherwise, he would become extremely violent. Did you know this sweetened version of Jeff the Killer, TikTakers? It really changes the creepypasta we all know, but that doesn't make it any less creepy. Alexander had always been a lonely child. His parents were never around the house, and his only company was the dog of his neighbor, Mr. Richard. His meals consisted of junk food, as well as leftovers his mother would take from other people's garbage. His life was a complete disaster. Many times Alex would lay on his bed contemplating about how the world was a dark and twisted place. And because of that, when he heard that you could make a wish to the stars, he immediately tried it. Not because he believed that his wish could actually come true, but because he just had nothing to lose. All he wanted was to feel happy, at least for a few seconds, and that was good enough for him. Alex approached the window, and looking at the stars, he made his wish. In that moment, he felt a slight breeze on his face, but he gave it no importance. It was getting late, and he had to go to bed early, so he wouldn't feel sleepy the next morning. Once he woke up, a group of neighbors were talking with Alex's mother at the entrance of the house. They were saying that last night they saw a strange light approach her door. Alex decided to ignore the adults and went back to his bed. He had gotten up earlier than usual, so he decided to tidy up his room. And suddenly, he saw an object he had never seen before. A wooden box painted with stars of many different colors, and it had a golden crank as well. Seeing this really made Alex excited, since that would be the very first toy he had ever had. Alex took the box, grabbed the golden crank, and as soon as he started turning it, a pleasant melody started to play. He was enamored with this gift. However, he didn't think there would be more surprises coming. The box opened, and from it bursted an explosion of confetti and streamers, forming a beautiful rainbow. Alex had never seen so many colors in his life. He felt so happy. Then, from behind that cloud of colors, a very tall clown in a jester suit appeared. Little Alex was completely paralyzed and couldn't utter a single word. He gazed at the green-haired clown in awe until he started speaking. "Hello, friend. What's your name?" A few seconds had to pass for Alexander to be able to say his name, stuttering. The clown also introduced himself. "I'm Joker Jack, although you can just call me Jack." The clown was towering in height and was actually talking and moving around. He approached Alex, stretching his hand, and from it started to come out a lot of candies in many different colors. Alex couldn't believe it. He had never seen so many delicious candies before. His life had changed forever. The stars had actually granted his wish. Alexander accepted the candies and started feeling more at ease. He then asked the clown why was he there, and Jack said that he was there to brighten Alex's life by making it more colorful. Jack also warned Alex that no adult could know about him being there, and that if that were to happen, he would have to go immediately. Their life together was wonderful. They spent many fun times and were really fond of each other. However, at school, the other kids still treated Alex terribly. One day, he came home feeling very sad. He had bruises all over his body and he was in pain. Jack approached Alex and, looking at him in the eyes, told him that he had a plan. Alexander would bring the box to school, then one of the kids who bullied him would steal it, and then Jack would do his part. And that's precisely what happened. The next day, the bully who stole Alex's box approached him, apologized, and also told him to be careful with the monster living in the box. Alex thought that the bullies would finally leave him alone, but a nasty surprise was waiting for him at home. The parents of the bullies had come to his house to tell Alex's parents that he was in possession of a cursed box, which, according to them, had done immeasurable damage to their children. Alex immediately looked at the box and, whispering, asked Jack what he had done. However, his father heard him and very sternly asked Alex why was he talking to the box. And despite Alex trying to convince his father that the box had nothing special, he didn't believe his son and tried to take it. Little Alex tried to run away, but with such bad luck that the neighbor's dog thought they were playing catch and snatched the box. Alex's father then took advantage of that to snatch the box from the dog and open it. And then everyone around started going crazy after seeing Joker Jack appear. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They then decided to burn the box to then eliminate that strange creature, but Alex wouldn't allow it. Inside that box was his only true friend. So Alex quickly kicked the box as far as he could, seeing it get lost within the bushes. Things eventually calmed down, and over the years, Alexander's parents gradually forgot about the whole ordeal. However, in Alex's memory were forever marked the happy times he spent with Joker Jack. And one day, without even thinking about it, Alex found the box again. It was in the hands of another boy, which relieved him. Jack was now making another kid happy. Hey there, TikTakers! Today, we revisited the world of Happy Pastas to share with you the story of Laughing Jack's counterpart, Joker Jack. Did you like it? Joker Jack acts depending on how other people treat him, so now you know that if you ever find a music box with a golden crank, you should treat it well, because if you don't, you might end up regretting it. TikTakers, do you remember our video about Maskey? Today, we want to find its positive side to tell you about its cheerful counterpart, Carnival. Do you know its origin? Here we go. Charlie was a very young boy who lived with his mother, but she had little money and was spending it on clothes and makeup. There was hardly any left to eat or dress with dignity. She didn't love Charlie. She had tried giving him away to various families or leaving him lost in different places. Neither option had worked, so she ended up abandoning him under a bridge next to where a homeless man was sleeping. Tiano, which was the name of that homeless person, took him in and took care of him as best as he could. But he also had no money to give him any comfort or to ensure him daily food. To make matters worse, that winter was terribly cold, so they had a really bad time. And one morning, Tiano didn't wake up. Charlie screamed very loudly for help, but no one helped him and he died. Again, he was alone. He spent days wandering through the woods, trying to find food or drink. But the days were really long and he was extremely hungry. One day, while walking through a wooded area, he got lost and found a house. He hid himself behind a tree so as not to be seen, and he just watched. There was a very old man on the porch of the house. He was in a wheelchair, so Charlie deduced he was sick. After a while, something surprised him. He saw a strange creature with very long arms approach the old man. At first, he thought he was going to hurt him, but soon he realized that he simply wanted to give him a gift. The old man, upon receiving it, was delighted. Charlie found that lovely. He was used to hearing bad words and blows. He got into the story so much that he forgot he was hiding and stepped on a branch with his right foot. That startled the old man and that creature, who quickly turned to see who was accompanying them. Charlie, when discovered, ran as far as he could between the trees. But this creature was faster, and when he reached the lake, it was right behind him. It approached him, and the boy was clear that he was going to die. But far from that, that was the first time he saw a Splendor Man. Since then, he has been part of his group and helps him to do good in the world. He's one of his proxies and shares a family with Spring, among others. Carnival has brown hair and wears a white mask with a light blue smile. We can also see next to his smile a drawn pink heart. He's usually dressed in a green shirt with pink heart-shaped buttons and a yellow tie. It is believed he has supernatural strength and great agility to move through forests. He's very grateful for the displays of affection, so TikTakers, if you meet him, don't be afraid. He is one of the good ones. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!